Hi, Steve Backman here again. This is section 2 of the Chernoble Ant that we tied with the rubber legs. This one here, I've tied it up to the point where we would normally put rubber legs on, but we're not going to do that. Okay, at this time we will go ahead and use our second piece of body here. We'll tie that on right here. Grab right a hold of that. Again, we want to keep it up on top if we can, best we can. Make sure our segments are about right. Okay, at this point, we're going to want to put some wings on there. I like to use these feathers here. I want to pick out a couple of feathers that look similar on it. So we'll grab one here. And we'll grab another one here. I want to grab a couple of feathers that look about the same. Now these feathers are pretty, they come apart really easy. You know, they don't really look like a wing. So what you can do is you take a little bit of super glue. You know, what I do is I put a dab on my finger, quickly rub your fingers together and grab the end of that and pull out. Okay, now you've made that'll glue together really nicely. For the second one, do the same thing, a little dab, touch your fingers together quick. You want to get them apart pretty quick because super glue will stick your fingers together. What you're trying to do is just glue those ends together so you're making a nice little wing. Okay, I'll let those dry. And I have previously done that to a couple other wings that are dry now. So what I'll do is I will hold this down here. Now this, you want to measure it to where it just barely sticks back, just slightly past the back of this abdomen here, or the butt of it. So you want to just hold it right there, capture that on, just like that. Okay, a couple of wraps to make sure it's there. Pull this up, snip off the excess. Okay, we're going to turn the vise, do the same on the back. Now you want to make sure that these wings are pretty much even with each other. Hold that right on there like that. A couple of loose wraps, make sure your wings look right, and go on around. Okay, let's get that captured on it really good. You can cut that excess off. Okay, now at this point, we're going to use a little bit of, they say a lot of times people use elk. This is a little bit of body hair off of a deer. And what you want to do is take, you don't need a lot, you know, just 10-15 fibers there. Again, cut them down right close to the leather. And then you want to take and hold them by the tips. Pull out all that excess and all that fuzz. You don't need that in there. It won't stack very good. Get that and get all the short ones out to where it's nice and clean. Then you want to put them in your hair stacker. goes in there. Tap it on the table a little bit so that when you pull those out, you have them all lined up. Okay. At that point, you can grab those by the tips. Just wrap her out of the way. Make sure those are all good. Now this, you're just going to put on there. You only want it sticking up just a little bit like that. About halfway back on the wings. You're going to grab it here. And you go around, capture it, pull it down tight. I'll go around a few times and make sure it's down tight. Okay, once that's down tight, you can gather all of these up. The long ones in the front. Gather all those up. Sneak in there and cut those off right tight. Okay. Now at this point, you kind of want to look down on it, if you can, and take your scissors, closed scissors, and divide those hairs so you got about half and half, and pull that forward. Half on one side, half on the other. See how I did that? Okay. And you pull this back forward. A little bit of tension on that. Comb those hairs back if you can. Then you want to take a wrap up and around the front, like so. Okay, it looks like my first loop was too far back. So I'm going to take that up, come up here, come up front a little bit. There we go, that looks better. Take a few loops around the front like that. Okay. Then you can cut this excess off in the front. Kind of making a little bit of a thread head there. Okay, at this point you can whip finish it. Right around the front there. Okay, now that you got that, you can take this deer hair and kind of pull it back forward. Not grabbing the wings, just the deer hair. You're kind of pulling that forward. That's kind of giving you the simulation of legs. Grab that forward. And gather those up to the front. You can kind of crunch them with your fingers a little bit. And there you have it. It's like an ant with wings. Those deer hairs, they got a little too many on one side. You can always trim them back a little bit. Those deer hairs kind of simulate the legs in the front. Anyway, that's part 2. An ant with wings. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing. I'm going to continue to be putting on more and more all the time. Thanks for watching.